Hello, hello, hello. We just got done watching Venom, the
Mm.
the hit the hit franchise Venom, and we're here to tell you if you should watch it and whether it was a good movie. And yeah, to start off, why don't you give us a summary of the story? 5'8" or 6'8"? Sorry to size you.
What? What? Hold on.
I,
I'm
I was
offended
I was
now.
being sizist. I apologize. 6'8".
You think
Come
I'm
on.
5? You think I'm 5'8"?
I know it's disrespectful. Give us the story.
Disrespectful.
Give us a story breakdown of Venom.
Okay, so we got ourselves a news reporter gentleman who is attempting to progress his career, which is admirable, but he gets some information that he shouldn't have access to from his lady counterpart. She's like a lawyer, I think. Yeah, she's a lawyer in the film, and he's trying to take down this Elon Musk type dude who is trying to like better the world and go into space and stuff. And so he goes and interviews him, calls him out, loses his job, loses his girl, loses pretty much everything, becomes like a sad boy. And then you later on find out that there's this girl that comes to him that works in the science place with the people who are researching the creatures that they find in space. They bring back, and he goes there, and one of his little homeless friends are being attacked, and she's kind of got like zombie vibes, but not really zombie vibes. And the little Venom boy goes inside him, the symbiote they call him, goes inside him, and the symbiotes basically eat the people like their hosts. They consume them from the inside out, unless they are like a really good match, like genetically a match. And he is the main character is a genetic match to the Venom symbiote. So they begin their
Shenanigans.
shenanigans, yes, of taking down the big giant baddie symbiote guy.
It's I kind of like the way you summed it up because it didn't really spoil anything. I mean, like it kind of a little bit, but not really. And not that it's that important because it's a superhero movie, and I feel like you don't really usually watch superhero movies for the story.
Disrespectful.
But this one did have a semi. Like I kind of don't care about the like long drawn out Marvel cinematic universe kind of thing. Sometimes I just want its own isolated little story thingy, and this
Fair.
delivered on that, and it was based. It was based.
That was funny.
It was.
That is actually good humor in it.
It has. Yeah. I generally stay away from Marvel films just because superhero stuff is not my jam. It's
Your
not.
cup of
It
tea
doesn't. It doesn't butter my toast. Uh,
doesn't get your biscuits excited.
it doesn't tickle my pickle. And
Pickle has not been tickled.
yeah, so this one it was very refreshing for me. I really enjoyed it. This is actually right here is where I'm going to give the we're about to enter the full discussion. So if you want to not be spoiled, we'll
Spoiler
we'll
alert.
give a recommend. Like I think we can both say
Spoiler alert.
spoiler. We both give it a recommend for watching. So go ahead, go watch it,
A
and
big
then
heck yeah.
come back. And if you want to see the end of it for the like the score or whatever at the end, go to the time on screen. So going from going from there, we kind of Mr. 6'8" summed up the story, and as I said, the story to me isn't really that important because it's a superhero film. However, what story was there was very enjoyable. Like I enjoyed it.
Which
Um,
pleased me because it's not usually your jam.
yeah, like yeah, as I had said before, it's not really my thing, but I was thoroughly entertained, and that is the point of this kind of film is to entertain. It's not a
Are
deep
you not entertained?
it's not a deep thinker. It's a vibe, and yeah, like the humor in it was way funnier than I thought it was going to be, and I know it was kind of I want to say it wasn't juvenile humor. It was not that at all, but it was I don't know it was more crass and violent humor than I think you would get out of a Marvel film. Well, I know it's a Marvel film. It's a Sony Marvel film,
The Sony Marvel film.
which so far I think Sony Marvel films are. I mean, like we haven't seen the masterpiece of Morbius yet, but I think they're superior.
I really want to see it.
We're stay tuned, folks. Mobius review, probably the next review. I'm assuming. Excuse me, and
Soon.
soon. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Morbius.
Sooners.
But yeah. So you have anything you want to add about the story? Like it was just, it wasn't complicated. It wasn't anything. It was just enjoyable for me.
No, it hits you with like it introduces a character. The pacing's kind of nice because you're like, oh, this dude's kind of based. He's trying to live his life and take down the empire. And then he hits tragedy pretty quick. And it's kind of like his comeback story, but it's not really a comeback story, but it's kind of feels like it. He's kind of like it's kind of funny because the Venom symbiote goes, where I'm from, I am kind of a loser like you. And
It
they,
was super
they
fun.
they paint him as like a failure, and then he comes back and gets these superpowers and becomes like he dies at one point and then gets brought back basically. Well, he wasn't fully dead, I guess, but he's close to death. I just like that it brings you to a low, and then it like you see the character development, and it brings you back to this point where you're like, yes, this is the person I could root for.
Yeah, it was super funny. Like, well, oh my god, there's certain things that the symbiote Venom actually tells the main character is super hilarious, and it's almost like the Venom, like obviously Venom starts to like his host, and as I was going to bring up in the actors section, I think it was like hilarious when they swapped bodies for a while, and
Oh yeah,
zygote,
they eat it.
the symbiote goes into his ex girlfriend.
He goes inside her, right?
And yeah, they make a thick Venom, which I'm like, oh, you did that for the fan service.
She looks pretty good as Venom though.
It's very latex vibes. Oh, you know what just dawned on me is Venom is just anime for Americans with fan service and everything,
True.
which I'm okay with. That brings me happiness. But yeah, just trying to think of anything else to say with the story. Like again, it doesn't need to be groundbreaking because it's a Marvel film, and it was very entertaining, and it moves the plot along to get you to see the more interesting things, which I would say the action sequences aren't like something out of like Endgame or some big Iron Man movie. Like they're not that big, but they're much more grounded. I say that and there's a spaceship involved. But they're much more grounded, especially.
Oh, it's like a realistic space crash shuttle. It's not like a crazy spaceship.
True, it's not in space. Like the main thing I was thinking about was the chase scene where he's on the motorcycle.
Yes, it's so good.
And yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was
You
great.
you get to explore the Venom powers a little bit.
We're not going there. Yes, we are.
Yeah, the dynamic of the two is pretty funny.
Yeah, I can't think of another superhero film, or anything like that to compare it to. Really, there isn't another, because it's an anti-hero film, sort of. It's more like a duo film, and
Yeah, well, Venom's kind of morally gray in the beginning, or actually he's bad, and then he becomes kind of morally gray because he's down to kill. Like he doesn't really care. He wants to eat people.
I need sustenance.
Sustenance. Sustenance.
Oh,
That's another thing that's funny throughout the whole thing. He just talks to him and tells him he wants to eat.
food. I like at the end where he's like, "What's for dinner?" Or he's Tom Hardy's character asks him, he's like, "So what do you want to eat tonight?" He's like, "Hershey's bars and tater tots."
Oh my word, yeah.
Which is, I don't know. I just thought that was really funny.
It is funny. It's one of my favorite superhero-esque movies.
Yeah, I'm still like trying to rack my brain thinking of a similar film, like a similar superhero film, and I really can't think of one. So just on that basis, I'm giving it bonus points. I try to think of what is supposed to be the mainline Marvel edgy movie. Is there one?
Mainline Marvel edgy movie?
Like, it's in the Chronicle. It's like in the set, the original thing. Because I can't think of any that are like intentionally edgy.
I don't know if they're.
I
I
don't
don't know
think
what you
they're
mean
edgy.
by edgy.
Well, like darker in tone.
Okay, like DC-esque.
Yeah, because I've always preferred. Not that I'm super into comic books, but I've always preferred DC stuff over Marvel.
Yeah, they don't really have a lot of stuff in this wheelhouse, I guess.
I was trying to
This is
find
one
a
of the
list of.
few. I think whenever they partner with like a Sony or another property holder, I can't think of another one off the top of my head. I feel as if they get content that's kind of like this, where it's not the two brothers' writings.
Yeah, like I'm going through a list of all of the Marvel films, and so far I'm not seeing anything I would say is as dark as that is. Not that like it's super dark, but it's just a little bit darker, and I appreciate that. Oh, we should really review Shazam because I actually want to see that. Oh,
True. I haven't seen Shazam.
oh, that's isn't that also Sony? The X-Men movies are also quite a bit darker than Marvel movies, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Um,
true. I didn't think about that.
I actually really liked all of. I've seen almost all of the X-Men movies, and I appreciate them all. Like I know that's a hot take for some people because they're not considered the best films ever, but I enjoyed them.
And they're
Actually,
good.
yeah, actually, like extreme hot take. I think Thor 2 is the best Thor, which everyone hates that so much. What was that
Thor
Thor?
2?
The Thor: The Dark World. I really like
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie. A lot of people hate it.
Is that the one where.
It's got like the elves in it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that one's good. I like that one.
I think it's like the one of the lowest rated Marvel films. Yeah, it is, which is interesting. Um,
Hmm.
anyway, back to the thing. Actors. Was there a standout actor besides? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the dude's name.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Dude, yeah, Venom. The just black goo is the best, one of the best actors.
But but what's his actual name?
I don't know who plays the black goo, but the black goo is hilarious.
Like actually, it's hold on. I need to look that up right now. Who is Venom's voice actor? I don't. Man, dude, I freaking hate looking up stuff. Okay, here's a complaint to Letterbox. Hot take review. If you're using the PC version of Letterbox instead of the app, it doesn't actually list the actors. Instead, it just says like actors, and it just puts them all in there without saying who they played. Like it's just freaking
Yeah, I think they do it. Don't they do it by like how big the actor is?
kind of. But on like if you use the app of if you use the app, it actually lists all of the actors and what role they played, which
Oh,
is
it's kind of nice.
way freaking nicer. Uh, Venom is. Oh, Tom Hardy voiced Venom. They just. That's what it looks like anyway. They just changed.
Tom Hardy does everything.
Cool. They just voice. Okay, dude. I actually really want to see Loki. It's completely. I think it's an A24 movie about Tom Hardy having to negotiate a bunch of stuff, and it's in a single. The entire movie takes place in his car as he's driving on the highway endlessly. Off topic, but I really want to see that. All these, I love how if we just discuss the films more naturally, other films just always pop up,
That's true.
and I think that's cool.
We always have a tendency to be like, what about this and that and another thing? We're a little ADD, if you can't tell.
I think my favorite actress in the film is definitely, I think her name is like Jenny Slate. She's the Indian lady. I don't know. She's
She's the
kind of
one
great.
scientist.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
You don't like the girlfriend?
No, no. Oh no. Why would I? She's blonde.
Bruh.
I,
I
I
mean, that's true.
I made my choice. Um. Oh, she's in. I
There were no redheads, so
I know. There's no redheads for you, so the movie's awful.
movie gets a 0 out of 10.
Anyway, Yeah, I think she was another standout, and like for what the movie is, I think she did a pretty good job acting wise. The only actor I thought maybe was a little too hammy or acted up was the the scientist dude, Riot, the guy who turns into Riot. I
Oh, the antagonist.
Yeah, Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, he wasn't very good, and but he's playing a quirky scientist person, so you're kind of like, oh, whatever. He's just a rich scientist guy.
Yeah, he does kind of get a pass for that, and that's okay. Because
It's a pass for being a dum dum.
yeah,
But I enjoyed the violence, and it was good. The pacing, I feel like, was good. The shots, which I know is something that you talk about more than I do. I feel like the movie was shot in like intriguingly. I know it was a lot of CGI, but it was neat.
yeah. Even I think I made a couple notes when we were watching it. They were even without the CGI. There were actually a couple semi interesting camera shots that were like just pure camera shots. And I appreciated that. It's been so long since I've seen a Marvel movie that I don't. And I think Marvel films are use way more CGI than Venom did. Like generally, I think most of a Marvel film is all CGI, almost. Um,
I mean, that's fair. There's a lot.
and I it looked to me that like there was a lot more actual sets in this. I could be wrong about that, but I'd have to.
I'm gonna leave that one to you because you're the expert on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, to me it looked like there was a lot more physical sets in this film than there is in a typical Marvel film, where they actually filmed a lot more stuff on location. I could be completely talking on my butt there. I have actual no idea. It just could have looked like that. Um, so
It feels right though.
yeah, like it. I don't know. So I was really surprised because I enjoyed this more. I enjoyed Venom a lot more than I thought I was going to, and I'm going to at the end of the video give it a quite a bit higher score than like the average letterbox score.
Ooh.
Um, so what did you think of the sound and the music?
I mean, the music is usually lost on me unless it's something that's like earth shattering, and I don't think this was earth shattering, but it was interesting. I like the Eminem Venom song. It makes me happy just because it's kind of iconic at this point.
I know I feel bad because I don't generally like Eminem. I don't generally like a whole lot of hip hop in general, but I kind of the Venom Eminem song is kind of catchy, and I kind of feel bad for liking it, but it's there, and I'm like, okay, I kind of like this. I feel bad.
Got to give credit to our boy M.
Yeah, yeah, we gotta give him some credit. I gotta give him
But
the Michigan Plus score.
Michigan Plus.
But yeah,
I don't know. I just think it's a fun movie, and it doesn't take itself serious, so it makes it a lot more fun.
yes, movies that movies that take themselves too seriously without being an actual serious film are horrible. I can think of a couple films that I really dislike that are way too. They think too highly of themselves, and that just completely ruins the film. I'm trying to appropriate. This is going to be obscure film. I remember it was on Criterion, so I watched it. Part of it anyway. Called Appropriate Behavior. Horrible movie. If they would have made it campier, would have been way funnier. I'm trying to think of like another film. Like honestly, usually making stuff campier is better, and Venom just proved that. I think for a bigger budget film.
Yeah, I don't know. We had reviewed and watched a couple movies that were more seriously filmed in a more serious manner,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this one was just fun.
Oh yeah, definitely fun. And I to touch back, what's interesting is the cinematography has a big part of it for me. And I think I even mentioned in the Lamb review that I expected more of the film story wise, or at least to have more interesting things about it, because the cinematography and the way it was shot was so much of a higher quality that I just innately think that if someone's intelligent enough to do that, they're going to put other stuff in the film. And which were just not there for Lamb. And but if you don't do that, you can have fun with it, and that's because movies don't have to be hoity-toity and always like self-righteous and amazing all the time. You need some movies are just really fun entertainment,
Yeah,
and yeah, I think too many films try to be too serious.
I
Which
agree with that.
Like I love me some really pretentious films sometimes, but sometimes it's too much. There was another
So you
movie.
just want to vibe with it.
Sometimes you're just like, I want to chill, and I'm gonna watch Venom. So, is there anything else you want to bring up about the story, actor, character, cinematography, anything at all before we move on to the next two segments?
No, I think that pretty well covers it for me.
I can't think of anything else I want to add other than really enjoyed it. Before we get to
Uh,
before we get to the score, does this movie remind you of any other films or anything like that?
Lord, we discussed this. There's something. I just can't. I still can't think of what it is. There's a movie. And I swear we just watched it. So I guess no. For the short answer would be no. So I don't babble for too long. I can't think of another movie that makes me think of this one.
Okay.
Oh, oh.
Oh, oh.
What's the Scarlett Johansson movie where she's
Under the Skin is like the default always with us because it's such a we both love that movie so much.
no, the one where she's like a robot.
Ghost in the Shell.
No, no, no. The one she's like a voice talking to this dude who's going through his life.
Her. Her.
Yes.
I have not seen that
Yes.
movie yet.
Okay, well that makes me think of this movie makes me think of that because Venom's always there with him, kind of giving him commentary and pushing him along in his life. And in that movie, she does that too. I mean, it's a different type of relationship, but it's kind of the same feel.
I am
So I would
so
say her then.
her. Okay, her is a really good pick, mainly because I haven't seen it and that intrigues me, and we really should do a review on her because I want to see it super bad. I bought the Blu-ray of it without watching it and just haven't seen it. So I should do that. Although I play Blu-rays all the time, I have a problem.
I just like anything with Scarlett Johansson in it.
Yeah, I see, and then I'd be on the other cusp of that. Like, I love anything with Joaquin Phoenix is most likely going to be amazing, and Scarlett Johansson is a pretty good actress, so I can at least be like, yeah, she's been in some interesting things. Obviously,
She has some assets to bring to the film.
yes, as long as she's not redhead.
Mm, that's a bad take.
That's okay. That's my take.
Everyone needs to comment that 6'5" is wrong on that one.
Uh, anyway, but like as I've mentioned before, like one of our favorite films is Under the Skin, which is just Scarlett Johansson, like extreme, these extreme. What's the term I'm going for like extreme art house film, sort of avant garde kind of film. Avant garde. Anyway, the film that this reminds me of, and I cannot, under any circumstances, understand why this gives me the vibes because they're not connected whatsoever. Is Adam Sandler's? I know he didn't direct it, but he's in it. Uncut Gems. I don't know why. I'm gonna get probably crap for that because Uncut Gems. I mean, like on a purely like artistic movie that actually is maybe trying to say something is a completely different league than Venom. I know, but damn, I don't know why. It gives me the vibes.
You heard it here, the same movie.
On a same movie, Uncut Gems, Venom, the same exact film.
Trying to say the same thing.
I think I would actually rage myself if I said that.
See, I haven't seen that movie either, so that's intriguing.
Yeah, and I'm really curious at some point when we should watch when we do reviews for both of those films. We should watch them back to back, so that way we can be like, yeah, I don't understand at all why the other one recommended this for that. It makes no sense.
True.
So we're at that time again. We must look to the heavens and give our score. We must look down on the masses from our tallness and judge these films. Oh, tall one, what do you give the Venom out of
It
5?
gets a solid 4 and a
Solid.
heart
A 4.
for a good time.
4 and a heart. You heard it here. It's based in Red Pill. Okay. I don't think I can go as high as that because I'm pretentious, but I'm really close. So I give it 3.5 stars and a heart. That's right. I also give it a heart.
It gets a heart from you. 6'5" gave it a heart.
It gets a heart from me.
That makes me happy.
I really enjoyed watching it. It was very fun. So, in closing, do you have any closing comments, 6'8"? I wish I
And
could
then,
actually play that. That would make me so happy.
yeah, you get copyright hitting so hard.
Yeah, I'll wait to talk about that later. It's yeah, oh my gosh, it was so and yeah, I hate putting videos out sometimes. But yeah, I think that wraps it up. Give us our comments down below. Remember to smash that like and comment section so that way things will happen. It'll make me happy. That's all I'm gonna
Give,
say. That
give us hugs.
just give us hugs and kisses. You can comment that down below. Yeah,
Go watch Venom.
go watch Venom. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Go watch it and have a lovely day. Love you, love you.
And eat popcorn.
And eat popcorn.
And bite off some heads.